What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be taking a first look and going for a first ride on a bike that has just been calling my name, and I finally got my hands on it. It's right here. It's the Stooge Speedbomb. Okay, let's start off with some of the basics really quick. If you don't know who Stooge is, it's a one-man show out of the UK run by Andy. Great guy, great customer service. Talk to him. He'll talk to you and answer your questions. He basically does these limited runs of a few different bike models that he has. And the first time I ever saw them, it was this guy maybe 4 years ago. I started seeing him pop up, and he was winning these enduro races on a full rigid 29 plus bike. And of course, if you've watched this channel before, you know that is something that I love. So it just intrigued me to no end. Well, the Speedbomb right here is that same bike. It's tweaked a little bit. I think that original one was called the Dirt Bomb, but that one is no longer made, and he kind of tweaked it and named it the Speedbomb. So this is the Speedbomb 2. It is brand new, and this was not sent to me by them. I mean, physically it was, but I purchased this because it just looked so good on paper. I had to get my hands on one. So as I mentioned, it is frame only, but I'm gonna start by going over some of my build really quick so that we have that covered, and then I'll jump into the geometry, the specs, that type of stuff. So first off, up here, it's running a 29 by 3¼ in the front and a 29 by 3 in the back. It's not supposed to clear more than that. I think it'd be really tight, probably not clear at all, but you know, maybe I'll try it with a 3¼ in the back. But I actually think this is a fun combo. I run this a lot on my Jones. Just get a little more cushion and roll over up front to take the edge off, and then the back is a 29 by 3. It's still gigantic. I'm running the Wheeltop EDS OX drivetrain right here, 11 to 51 tooth cassette from Shimano, 11 speed. And then up here we've got the stylo cranks with a 30 tooth chainring. Gotta go a little bit smaller on the chainring with these big tires. This is the PNW dropper. It's a 150 mil that I stole off of my Mayor because I wasn't sure what size I was gonna be able to run, but I definitely think I could go with a 170, maybe a 175. So I'll probably do that at some point. Coming up to the cockpit, these are Shimano, the calipers are 420s, MT 420s. I think these are 4100s. So they are like a 2-finger right here, but I'm not super picky on that type of stuff. On the other side of the brakes, we've got a 203 millimeter rotor up front and a 180 in the back. We got the Ergon GA2 grips, which are some of my favorite. And we're running Steve Potts camper bars. Probably gonna switch these out. I just want something a little bit taller. These have, let's see, 38 millimeters of rise. I think I'm gonna go up higher, maybe even with Stooge's own bar. His junker bar, I think he has an 85 millimeter. But either way, the camper bar is actually a bar that I love. The other thing you may have noticed is this super cool bag right here. This is from Ghost Cat Bags, and it is fully custom. It's from Josh, the owner of Ghost Cat. He actually has a Speedbomb. He has the, the version 1, but because of that, he had created a bag for this. And I think Andy from Stooge actually has one from him, but I hit him up, got this ordered. It's custom made. That's what he does. He has a few ready to go bags, but mostly he's a custom frame bag builder, and quick turnaround, really easy to work with. Highly recommend him. I'm excited about this because, I mean, that's one reason I got the Speedbomb, was I love this, this extra bar in here, but I also love frame bags. So I thought that'd be awesome if there was one there. Saw this on the Ghost Cat site on a Speedbomb and thought, well, that looks perfect. So this side, as you can see, you've got a little, some Velcro straps right there to hold a pump, or I don't know, whatever you want to hold out of the way, a tube, but plenty of room in there. And then on the other side, you just got a little flap pocket, which is perfect for keys and things like that. You can also customize it with, if you want, Velcro straps or these elasticy ones right here. I thought that looked better with the twin top tube design, and it would work better there. That's enough on my build. Everyone is going to do it their own way, but let's jump into the geometry and the specs, because I think That's the part about this bike that really stood out to me. So a unique thing about the Speedbomb is it only comes in one size. It's effectively a medium large, maybe a large, I guess I would say. Probably more of a medium large. Effective top tube is 625. The reach is 459.6, which is, you know, basically 460. That's kind of why I say medium large. I feel like a lot of larges are more like 470-ish on their reach. The stack is 604.5, so it's not overly tall, but if you look at the way he builds most of his bikes, he's expecting you to use a bar with a lot of rise. One reason I am contemplating swapping out those bars right there for something taller. Head tube angle is a nice and relatively slack for a rigid bike, 66 degrees. And the seat tube angle, it's a virtual seat tube angle, just because it's got a bend in it, but it's 74.5. It has a nice and low 75 millimeters of bottom bracket drop, which is very helpful with these tall tires on it. As well, it just gets you a little more stable ride feel. If you are wondering, it has a 30.9 seat post is what it accepts. And down here, you can't really tell, maybe you can sneak in there, but it's got an eccentric bottom bracket. So if you wanted to run shorter wheels, like a 27.5 plus, you totally can. You'd probably just want to flip it so that the bottom bracket's a little taller. Or if you're gonna run these, you might flip it so it's on the bottom. Right now, it's actually just kind of, I don't know what position you'd call that, but it's directly back. That's just how it came stock, and so I just left it. I'll play with it, see what I end up thinking of it. One difference between this and the other version is this has this really cool biplane fork. I just love the look of this bike. That's one thing I can't get over. And it has 65 millimeters of offset. Some other things that I love about this is you get your 3-pack mounts here, rack mounts as well, and fender mounts. There's right there, you can see that. You've got 1, 2, 3 bottle cage locations, as well as rack mounts back here. You are very much able to use this for whatever you want to use it for touring, for bike packing, for shredding. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. I think this is just one of the coolest looking bikes out there, especially if you're kind of into weirder bikes like I am. But I really want to know how it rides. So let's get riding. Gonna take it on our normal test loop. Let's get out there and ride. Like I said, the stack isn't super tall, but it doesn't take a whole lot to make it feel pretty upright. And I think I like a taller stack than most people, so it's not the end of the world. The fork also comes uncut, so I left mine quite a bit taller, which helps a lot. A lot of people ask about the weight on these, and I say, you're asking the wrong question. If you're riding a big, rigid steel bike, I don't know that you should care about weight too much, but the frame and fork with, you know, the headset and all the bolts in and everything like that weighed in at 5 kilograms. A little bit on the heavier side. But this total bike weight, I want to say it's 34, and I'm not running anything special. All right, got these series of steep climbs with a little dip after. Good climber. Steering is very slow compared to some of the other bikes I've been riding, but I'm not fighting it, which is kind of nice. So I don't know what position in the bottom bracket they use to measure the seat tube angle. I'm assuming it's either straight down or straight up. I'm not loving it in the back position. I tend to like slacker seat tubes, and if this is 74.5 in a different spot, this is effectively making it a little steeper. And I'm sure it's helping with probably the climbing, but I don't know that I love it. It just feels a little uncomfortable. I'd rather be a little farther behind the bottom bracket, which totally goes against a lot of the trends, but that's just what I like. It's also an easy thing to fix, so maybe I'll do that. Just rotate it around. Get our first little taste of downhill right here. Oh, very stable. Wow, that feels good. I know that's not much right there, but even that little hop off that little rock, make that little turn, you get a good sense of how the bike rides. This isn't flat or anything. It's, I don't know, maybe a 3-4% grade right here up, but it's a, you know, it's a road. And I'll say the steering and everything, it's not lively. I wouldn't say that, but it's also not like dead. It's better than I thought it would be. Actually feels pretty good. That's one thing that I always get a little more concerned about as things get slacker and slacker, is how the bike's gonna feel on roads, greens, blues, things that are a little bit easier. Because I want to have fun there. I don't want the bike to just only feel good and come alive when it's a black and, you know, it's really steep. I want to have fun the whole time. Just another quick moment of appreciation for this Ghost Cat bag. I don't know what I was thinking. I need some side loaders on this, at least for the water bottles I have, because they're rigid. They're those Bivos. They're not really going to fit in here very well. So I need some side loaders. But as I said, it's hot. So look at that. It fits so well. My keys in there. Just couldn't have asked for a better bag. The frame's double butted. So it's got some compliance to it, which also, you know, in hand with the big tires, makes it a much less jarring ride than you might expect. I'm interested to see how it feels when I get into rockier stuff, lots of more bumps. Especially with like the twin top tubes and that kind of stuff. We'll have to see. I think that's one of those things that takes a little more time to feel out. You know what? Let me take a little detour. I'm not really too crazy about this, but you know, might as well try it out if I can get clipped in fast enough. All right, here we go. Woo-hoo. That feels good. Yeah, man, that front end is loving that slackness. All right, let's get into some fast stuff. See how that feels. I expect it to feel pretty good. Can I feel the weight of the bike? Yeah, a little bit, but it's also just a warmer day, and I don't know, there's so many factors. That's one reason I don't like to do a review just based on one ride. I feel like you gotta test it on different trails, change things up a little bit, and then just some days you're feeling different than others, a little more confident in what you can ride, or maybe you have a little more energy in you, which can totally affect how you feel about the bike you're riding. So that's why I do multiple rides. I'll ride this for a couple months before I put out a review. Maybe less than that. I might be a little too excited and just constantly ride this, but we'll see. Man, when you let it go, it just wants to keep going. It feels good. It's not a super maneuverable in that it's not like super quick steering, or you're gonna be like picking your way through rock gardens real fast kind of a thing. It's not gonna change direction crazy fast, but holding a line, it just goes. And it wants to roll over stuff, so that helps too because it's got those big tires. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh. There we go. I think I might be a 1/10 of a millimeter too short on my spacers. I feel like my headset is slightly loose, but it's torqued to the right spec, so might have to add the tiniest spacer ever because I feel like there's maybe a little bit of play in there. This bike is just so stable. Like, it just holds a line. It's on rails type of a feeling. You just, oh, should I go in the air for a second? No suspension, just go for it. Why not? One other cool way that I think Andy mentions is you could run this mullet. So you could do a 29 by 3 1/4 up front, and I'm pretty sure it'll clear a 27.5 by 3 1/4 in the rear, which will be a really cool setup, especially if you're wanting something even more aggressive. You could totally do that. Wow, look at that. All those little rocks and stuff just powers right over. Oh, dang. This is so good. Whew. Maybe I was wrong about the maneuverability side, because, I mean, on some of these tight turns, it's just going right where I want it. It comes around nice and easy. It's not like a fight despite the weight and the length of the bike. I don't know, it feels just really good in those, once you're going at speed, you can hit a bermed quick turn, not even like super machine groomed, just where it's built up on the side, and it just eats it up. This section's a good test for it. For the old speed, oh shoot, speed test. Little whoops. Whew. Yeah. Oh man, that felt good. All right, back in my shop. Let's talk about the first ride really quick. You can probably tell I really enjoyed it. I did figure out that headset problem I was talking about. I added a little spacer up on top. It was just the top cap was just barely coming in contact with the steerer tube. I thought it cleared. I had tested it when it was here, but once you're out in the real world and you get some more abuse on it, I guess, or use, I should say, it can really show if you're just off slightly. So it's all solid now, good to go there. Ride quality wise, my first impression is it is pretty much as advertised. Like, it's a bike that you can totally go, I don't know, shred for a lack of a better word. You can hit some pretty good stuff. Nothing that I hit today did I ever feel like I was beyond the limit or capabilities of the bike. I'm excited. It makes me feel like I want to go ride some more intense stuff. And that's actually part of the reason I got this, because you might say, hey, I have this and I have the Jones. First impression, this is a very different bike. So that's something you should learn as you look at bikes, is just because they have similar sized tires and they're made out of the same frame material, doesn't mean they're going to ride the same. I do still think I'm going to swap different bars onto it because while these are actually great, I don't feel super like it's super low in the front. I still want it a little bit higher. I'm a height snob, I guess, a stack snob. I'm still probably going to throw something different on there just to make it a little taller, a little more upright. I think it'll fit the bike better. And yeah, I'm definitely going to try this in a few different configurations. I'll probably try it with 27.5 plus and, you know, raise the bottom bracket up so I'm not getting any pedal strikes. I'll probably try it as a plus mullet with 29 plus in the front, 27.5 in the rear. I just really want to see what this bike is capable of because it showed me today that I didn't really test it too much. If you want to know more about the bike, I've put a link down in the description so you can go check it out. Also, check out Ghost Cat Bags. I think that Josh over there has got something really cool going on. Again, I told him as part of the process, he just said, what do you want it to look like? And I said, I don't know. I kind of want some red, some gray, and some white. And I want it to be simple. And that's exactly what he did. Go check them out as well. I put that link down in the description. Let me know what else you want to see. If you have any questions about this that I didn't answer, throw those in the comments. And yeah, that's all I've got for you. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.